down to sleep, I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again, I pray the Lord that I now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again, I pray the Lord that I wake
Welcome to Wellness Tuesdays here in the Wisdom Clinic with my co-host, Sharmane Harrison, herbal naturopath. And we are excited that you are joining us today here in the Wisdom Clinic. We have so much information to share with you. So get your pen and paper, and we are going to learn some stuff today. I hope you guys had an amazing week so far. So get yourselves prepared, get your coffee, your tea, and open up your mind for understanding, for a revelation of truth and knowledge so that you can become the best version of you. So welcome, Sharmane. Thank you again for joining us here in the Wisdom Clinic for Wellness Tuesdays. What you got for us today, girl?
Thank you for having me as always. I like to say if you are here, it's because you are supposed to be here listening to this. Get your pen and paper. I'm excited for tonight. I'm going to be talking about making health wealth, basically, right? So those of you that do not know or viewing for the first time, I'm an herbal naturopath, and I help people go from dealing to healing. And basically what that looks like is helping to release people from a toxic lifestyle or a toxic environment into natural wellness. And I do that using nature, herbs, and holistic methods, right? So the reason that I started doing that, because I lived a very toxic lifestyle that led me to suffering from chronic illnesses, but I was able to release myself from these illnesses through nature and holistic methods. So that's why I do what I do today. But I made a post one day, last week, I made a post, and basically it was speaking about how a lot of times as individuals, we don't realize the power that we possess just through our health alone. Our health is basically like the driver, our bodies and things like that. That's our physical, and it helps us get us through life and everything. But if we truly understood the power that we had, I think a lot of times we would take our health a little bit more seriously. But this society really, like a lot of nowadays, we're very a money-driven society, right? That we live in, right? Everyone you hear, go get the bag, let's go get the money, right? And I'm like, I see people killing themselves basically for their jobs and their money, and just trying to, their health is slowly declining. And I'm like, well, you can't get the bag, sis, if you're in the bed sick all the time. You cannot, right? So, being exactly, definitely, you can't, like I said, our body's our driver. Being ill causes us medical expenses. And if we were able to save that money, think about, because there's a lot of people in the world in debt, up to debt, and just medical bills alone. So imagine if you could have utilized that money in a different way, just by implementing, and some things are beyond our control, but the things that are within our control. Imagine if you were able to save that money and not be in debt medically. Wouldn't that be something that would be just amazing? Yeah. Increasing your lifespan is the ultimate wealth.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely is the ultimate wealth. So I just want to break down. I just want to break down ways to make your health your wealth. So when you do think about wealth, the word wealth, right? Most people instantly think about what? Money, right? Rich. That's what you think about if somebody were to utilize the word wealth. Well, I always say there's a difference between being rich and being, and being wealthy, right? So rich is, to me, that's like winning the lottery. It's instant. There was no education involved, no investment, no learning technique. There wasn't anything involved. Usually when you accumulate money like that, quick like that, it goes even quicker. So it goes to things like that I consider liabilities, right? So when people win money like that, it's mostly bills. You're gonna go and pay all these bills that you owe, right? Or you're buying, or spending. You know, it's not sustainable if you don't have the tools to keep you wealthy.
Mm,
So that's what I think about that. The definition of wealth is an abundance of valuable possessions or money, right? So the state of being rich, or plentiful supplies of a particular resource. One of the biggest things about that definition that I want to pull out is abundance of basically resources. So when you think about wealth and you think about money and things like that, wealth can be, yeah, abundance of basically of value. Definitely. So wealth is more, for me, I'm thinking it's more sustainable. It's definitely more sustainable because it comes with tools. It comes with tools to be able to continue to regenerate or reproduce or acquire or invest. Does that make sense?
absolutely. Absolutely. I think one key thing is to realize that wealth is you're thinking you have to think on terms of stewardship. When you're steward, when you are given stewardship over your body, over your it's the same way as having stewardship over your resources. You have to take care of what you have in order to maintain a level of mental clarity, a level of being. You can't do anything that you want to do in the natural if you haven't become a good steward over your body. And that is one thing that I've had to learn in my own personal journey, is because we're people, especially the times are different. If you think about what it was back in the day, people were not as everything wasn't generated so quickly. It wasn't instant because the society, everything was a little bit more laid back. We didn't have the technology that we have nowadays. And now you would think with the technology that we have, that it will cause us to be, that we will have more quality of life, with
Right,
technology. But it seems like the technology has caused us to not be good stewards over our
mm,
health. It's actually
right,
been used to accelerate other areas of our life and cause us to not be responsible when it comes to maintaining good health.
right. Definitely. And when I'm thinking about those things, and with wealth, it's like the tools and the resources that you acquire, the knowledge that you acquire in order to be able to pass along, or utilize these things, or utilize those tools to be able to pass along to the next generation, right? So this
Mhm.
goes hand in hand with one of the things that I teach in my program, which is breaking the cycles of generational illness.
Mm,
Passing, you don't want to keep passing along those certain habits and things like that. But in order to do that, you must break the cycle of your own habits first, right? So
mhm,
you can't teach what you don't know. And that's a lot of things. A lot of people don't know these things, so they can't teach along, or pass through, or pass, that to the next generation if they don't really know. It's like, again, it's like winning the lottery and being broke after 90 days because you didn't have the knowledge to know how to invest that money. Right. So at this point, you're probably like, okay, well, what does this, have to do with, health? But it's like literally everything. Like, like you were saying, Nadira, it has everything to do with it, because the saying, wealth is health, was first said by philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson, right, in
mhm,
1860. And people interpret that phrase in various ways, right? So he reminds us that basically good health is the foundation on which to build. You want to build a life, a community, and an economy. So that's his definition of what health, when the saying wealth is health. So nowadays we say, well, health is wealth,
mm,
right? But
mhm,
originally it was wealth is health. But the one true meaning to me is saying that once you basically understand the power between who we are as humans, in direct correlation to nature and man. Now I'm going to break that down even further. So basically the first point is you can have all the money in the world. However, if you're suffering from an illness, how are you going to enjoy the money that you work jobs for 20 years at a time? You can't really enjoy that, you know? So when you think of you can have all the money in the world and still be poor, right? And when I say that phrase that I said earlier, the direct correlation between humans and our humans, nature, and man, right? So, for example, jobs, that would be the man, right? Jobs would equal, you know, to man, right? Nature, that's your health, because our bodies are organic, so it's nature, which, you know, again, is all around us. We live in nature, it's around us. If everything goes down today, what do you have? The trees and the ocean and the rivers, you know. So that's super, you know, important. And then humans, that equates to habits, because that's how we live our lifestyle through habits that we acquire every day. So that's why I wanted to kind of break that down. And a lot of times when we're constantly working and going and going and going, we neglect our health. I have done it before. I
Yeah,
have done it.
I understand that all too well.
Yes, definitely. So, you know, you have those people like, how many times have you said, you know, well, I don't have time to make breakfast. I'll just stop at Starbucks, or I'll stop at McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or Dunkin' Donuts, or I'm going to grab these breakfast tacos, right? So, 'cause, you know, right, because, you know, I put some examples from my life. I've been there back in the day. I used to be like, I don't have time. I'm just going to run up here. And then, you know, another example of man is the processed foods that we are consuming, the food that has been altered by man. That's the definition of process. So then, you know, you might go and say, okay, well, I'm gonna run and grab some breakfast one day out of the week, and then you get these habits, and then that one day turns into 4 days out of the week. So, you know, now you say, you know, you might have people that say, well, I don't do that. I don't do that, Sharmane. I cook breakfast, right? Okay, so what are you eating at home when you do cook? Are you eating pancakes and sausage and bacon and eggs and grits, biscuits and gravy, a Tropicana orange juice, coffee and energy drink?
You
That
coming
was
right
great. That was just
down my
that
lane.
was just
Coming right down my lane. I'm like, grits and eggs.
But then, right, then now you at work at 10 o'clock in the morning, then you yawning, and you talking about, you know, when I'm ready to fall asleep. But that's because from all the starch and sugar and dead flesh that you're consuming for breakfast.
Yeah.
And oftentimes you think, well, I don't go eat fast food, so, you know, I make my breakfast, so I'm good to go. I'm healthy. I'm good. It's like, but you're consuming starch, sugar, and most, you know, the bacon and the sausage and things like that. So, ideally in the morning, if you are able to, you want to either fast or consume some type of solid fruit in the morning, or smoothie or something, just something light. You know, something light that's going to give you like energy and, you know, help you nourish your body, not just feed your body so you don't feel sluggish. You want to fuel your body, because eating those things, the starch and all this, the sugar and all these things in the morning, it slows down the digestive process. It slows it down tremendously. So that's
So
why
y'all
we
listen to all of y'all that are having stomach issues, having digestive issues. This is something that you might want to consider, because if you're eating, as you know, as Sharmane is talking about, and you're having digestive issues, that might be something that you want to look at.
Right, definitely. And I know they say, well, you know, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. You know, that's how we're raised. That's how, you know, we're taught that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But a lot of people eat due to time. They eat because of time. They don't eat because they're hungry. You know, they're three meals a day. I gotta have my 3 meals a day. You know, even though I'm not hungry, it's lunchtime. I gotta put something in my stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're trained, because everything is based around the especially nowadays, what they're trying to the what is it that I think what most nutritionists are talking about, eating from the 5 food groups, and they are and they're the ones that are promoting the eating, you know, 3 square meals a day, eating breakfast as the most important part of the day. I started to learn that in the mornings, because in the mornings I'm the bacon eater. I will tear down some bacon in a minute. but I am learning through the education that I'm receiving how in the morning to consume more fruits. So I did invest in a juicer, where I'm doing more juicing in the morning. My kids love it, because they're getting the natural taste of the fruit. They love being able to juice. I saw this thing on TikTok, and it was talking about this lady had set up her countertop for breakfast. And I thought, oh my God, I got to show Sharmane this. This is so amazing. And she had like a tray. It was just fruit where her kids can pick, they can pick fruit and stuff. And then she was encouraging them being able to do stuff on their own. And she had all this fruit and, healthy stuff on the counters. And it was neatly set up. And I was like, wow, that's a good idea. I think I'm going to implement that because I have a 4 and 7-year-old, and they're, my 4-year-old, if she could eat the whole cow, she would, literally. She's a meat eater. She loves bacon. She will get up and she'll eat the bacon before she do the eggs. And so I've been trying to find ways to incorporate more healthy things into her diet. And so she loves fruit. So the more fruit I give her, the more she'll desire the fruit than those bag of potato chips, because her habits have developed based on the habits that I've shown her from what I know. So the more you're educating me, the more I'm looking into ways to replace the things that I've actually given them. And it's actually helping a lot. It's not as bad as I thought it would be, because there are some fruits and vegetables that do, it's all a matter of how you prep it, how you prepare it for them. And if you give them great tasting, you give them fruit that replaces the sugar deficit that they want in their body, oranges and apples and grapes especially are really sweet. It kind of replaces that sugar substitute that their body desires. So yes, I definitely agree with that.
Definitely, that is awesome to hear. And that's another thing. Yeah, get the kids involved. Like I know when my daughter was smaller, I would take the cantaloupe and I would slice it, and then I have cookie cutters. And I'll put them in little different shapes, and let her pick from the table and stuff like that. They get excited.
Yeah,
it's not so much about what you're putting in front of them; it's how you present it to them when they're when they're children and stuff. Getting them involved and having them do their own thing, it gets them excited and they want to eat it. I know my daughter, if I make something and she'll just kind of be like, okay, she'll eat it. But if she makes it, then, oh my God, it's the best food in the world. It's just so delicious because she, had a process, had her hand in the process. So that is definitely a good tip.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to try that. I have some cookie cutters downstairs. I think I'm gonna try that. That makes sense.
Yeah, if they get excited, and they're gonna want to, definitely. But I know for you guys, I'm not here to tell you what to eat so much. I'm just here to awaken you. I'm here to awaken you so that you can take a good, strong, honest look into your daily habits and start to tweak one thing at a time. Because that's where it begins. With one choice at a time. And I'm not rushing you, but illness does not wait for anyone. Okay, illness does not wait for anyone at all.
Wow.
So understand that, before we physically see symptoms of illness, our bodies accumulate and store it first. Our body actually accumulates that illness. And it's our job to push that waste out of our bodies when that happens. So a lot of times when we get sick and we wake up the next day and we see the symptoms, or we feel the symptoms of the scratchy throat and the mucus and the chest and the cough and all that stuff, our bodies were already ill. Already, it was already in our bodies prior to, attacking our cells. It just happened to show up externally. But the quicker you implement identifying self-awareness and taking action, the quicker you will see the change. That's for sure. And then another thing is, brings me to my second point, how health has been so modified up until today. With me, and what I mean by that, like with me, I'm super simple, right? Live off the land. And I'm not saying go put on some overalls and go get the farming. I'm not saying that. I've said that before. I gotta live off the land, and people are like, this is, like, no, not literally, literally, but not, physically, but you know what I'm saying? You have to understand what you are putting in your body. That's what I mean by that. Understand when you live off the land, this is a strawberry. I know it's gonna provide me with this vitamins, nutrients. Got these seeds in it. It hasn't been messed with. I'm gonna, go soak it, clean it up the way it needs to be cleaned up, and I'm gonna consume it, and that's gonna give me life. It's simple. It's not in the store in a can or in a jar, and you're trying to figure out, and you're looking at the labels, and it says it's a strawberry, but it had 12 different ingredients in it. That's what I mean. That health has been so modified, and also, for me, when I went through my journey of detoxing, cleansing, detoxing, and repairing, going through that with the holistic methods in 2019, that was January 2019, I lost 30 pounds of waste in a healthy manner out of my body in 6 weeks. And I remember posting a picture of that years ago, and people were like, that's not healthy to lose weight that fast. Oh my gosh, what are you, scam? And I'm just like, what? Because, again, health has been so modified, and the thing about it is it's not unhealthy. It's not unhealthy when you do it in a very healthy manner, as such as I did. I did holistic methods. I used herbs. I used nature. There was nothing unhealthy. There was no chemicals involved. There was no way, all these things. But no, it's not unhealthy. It's unhealthy what we do nowadays, which is normalize having waste in the body in the first place. It's not unhealthy. It's unhealthy not to consume fruit, vegetables, and water on a daily basis. You have some people that do not normalize that at all. They're like, well, you can't eat too much fruit because, X, Y, and Z, you got too much sugar. You can't do this if you consume too many vegetables and things like that. And I think that's a case on case basis. But at the end of the day, your body should be able to consume from what is naturally given from the earth.
Yeah, I've heard that too. That I've heard some people talking about not eating too many certain types of fruit that is high in sugar, like pineapples. And I think it was pineapples, and there was another fruit. They were saying, oh, you got to be careful because that, even though it's natural sugar, you got to be careful because it is it's still sugar, and it can actually, I think that I was hearing the doctor say that to my mom when we were going through different types of, because she's a diabetic. And they're talking about, you got to be careful because she's attracted to the carbohydrates and the sugar. And so she loves pineapples. She'll consume pineapples like all day if you let her. And so I heard that was one of the things that I heard the doctor say to her, is to be careful with her consumption of pineapples because of the sugar.
Right. So she's diabetic. So she does want to, nobody wants to, they say too much of one thing is always a bad thing. So they say that even down to water, you've heard that before. But the biggest thing with her being a diabetic, definitely, she doesn't want to sit and eat a bunch of pineapple. She wants to have a variety of fruit throughout the day, not just that one. That's that one thing. So you definitely want to make sure. But those things are not unhealthy. It's unhealthy to go to the Pizza Hut and the liquor store every Friday. That's unhealthy. Those are the things that we should be focusing on and really not normalizing. Not saying, oh my gosh, you lost weight, 30 pounds in 6 weeks. That's not good for you. What? I feel amazing. What are you talking about? Do you feel amazing? That's my mindset. I'm like, and even though I did lose the waist in the 6-week process, my body still went through a process. I don't think people realize that. It still went through a process. But then that process doesn't have to take years. You have people that, oh, well, I'll take forever to lose that weight. That process doesn't have to take years. If we know the science of how our body works and how to actually do the process of eliminating waste, and that's what I teach in my online program. But if I had to sum up the process that I went through in one statement, it would be, yes, the body can transform quickly once you help it by releasing the waste that is holding it hostage, that is holding your body hostage of bondage. I often hear people say, your liver and your kidneys, those detox themselves. I have seen that in so many workout groups and things like that. Your liver and kidney, they detox themselves. They don't need assistance. That's not true. That is not true at all. Your kidney and liver, yeah, they go through a process of filtering when they're supposed to, but they're not going to detox anything if it's filled with excess mucus and parasites and toxins and waste. they cannot possibly, and that's where a lot of chronic illnesses come from. You know, we have a lot of chronic illness in our body, because if that was the case, then when we are struck ill, we wouldn't have to do anything, because our liver and kidneys would do it.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we are going to thank you so much. We have some beautiful comments. Genta says, hello, ladies. Hi, Genta. Thank you for joining us. And it's Sharmane. She said, hi there, Tracy and Sharmane. And she says, hi, hey, coaches. Hey, Genta, hi, coaches. Yeah, hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to continue on this amazing topic. Are you guys learning anything? Do you guys really value the importance of maintaining your health? It doesn't matter what kind of business or ministry that you're in. It's not going to mean anything. Your life is supposed to be a living example of what you want to display to people. So I want you guys to understand and take and really open up your eyes of understanding and understand the importance of maintaining a good health, so you can be here and be in your right mind. Most of the times we can't function the way we need to, because our body is telling us that it needs to be restored, that we need to slow down and acknowledge the things that are going on in our body. Don't wait until you're sick before you realize that there are some things that you need to change in order to, to get some stuff done. So we'll be right back. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll see you after this. IBG Careers is looking for customer service representatives needed to service their customers from home. If you're interested, please apply at www.ibgcareers.com.
Let's work. I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again. I pray the Lord that I. Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Yeah.
All right. And
I was like,
boom. You guys, I'm telling you, if you want to learn how to make videos that pop like what you see, you've got to join my class. You can go to the womanofproverbscoaching.com and join our class, where I teach about how to create content that pops. If you want to learn how to make awesome videos like that, you don't want to miss out on this class. It is available on demand. Just go to the website, www.womanofproverbscoaching.com. And we are back with our herbal naturopath, Sharmane Harrison. And she's been really helping us understand the importance of putting emphasis on what we put in our body. Sharmane, you want to go ahead and help us? I want to acknowledge just to say, y'all got me dancing.
that's how I was like.
We got to bring the thunder. Do you know we are in an awesome position as women to be able to display our gifts and talents in such a unique way? We can help people in so many aspects if we just take the time to just show up and just be there and be our authentic selves. You will be amazed at how many people are attracted to your authenticity. So I just wanted to just say that. So go ahead, Sharmane. I'm sorry.
Yes, definitely. That's a word. That is a word. Yes. But before the break, I was talking about how health has just been really modified nowadays, and there's been basically so many things in place to keep us from actually getting uncomfortable to actually put in the work. I tell you have to wander through the wilderness. Transformation is not going to be something that's just like flowers and pies and you're good to go. And, no, you have to honestly you have to put in the work. There's things in place nowadays, these quick fix teas, these diets where they say, oh, you don't have to eliminate anything out of your diet. You just have to have balance and moderation. And I'm just like, It hits me every time because you cannot tell someone that is struggling with an illness that it's okay to balance and consume something in moderation. That's wrong. They don't have the discipline to do it, number one. And number two, all you're doing is pacifying them to stay where they are,
Mm.
where they're at. Lack of self accountability. That is basically what's going on, right? So, example of that, it's like telling a diabetic it's okay to eat 10 cookies a day versus well, you were eating 100. So just knock it down to 10 because balance and moderation is everything. I'm like, no, I don't believe in that. I'm going to tell you, you have to eliminate the cookie altogether. You can't just say, oh, just balance and moderation. That is not okay. That was Genta said, I missed the beginning. Can you give me a summary of the first half? Definitely, Genta. So earlier the topic is health is wealth, or making health wealth, and things like that. And I was just talking about the definition and how powerful that we possess, how powerful of the process that we possess just through our health. The power that we hold if we actually took care of ourselves and actually took the time, how we would do things like save money on medical expenses. If we just take a little bit of time, how a lot of people in the world wouldn't have medical debt. There's a lot of people suffering with medical debt up to their ears, from not just implementing these little things, taking control of their health. So that's what I was talking about earlier. Increasing your lifespan, is the ultimate wealth. So that's what I was talking about for the first part. So yes.
Oh,
But yeah.
definitely.
Yes. And then also I was also speaking about how how we normalize. That's what I'm on now. How we normalize a lot of things. Like I was speaking about how I lost 30 pounds of waste in my body in 6 weeks. When I went through my detox in January of 2019. And I posted the pictures and everybody was like, that's not healthy. Oh my gosh, that's not good. How could you lose weight that fast? And I was like, that's not unhealthy. It's because our mindset has normalized a lot of things nowadays. That's what's not unhealthy, that we're normalizing going to the liquor store, getting pizza every Friday. We are normalizing not consuming fruit and vegetables or finding an excuse to say that they're unhealthy for us. We're normalizing having waste in our body. So that's kind of what I was talking about the first half. No. Oh, you are welcome. You're welcome.
Genta says she read that fast food was the most costly thing that you can eat.
Yeah, I was talking about that too because it adds up. You start with going to work. I'm gonna grab something to eat. I'm gonna grab fast food real quick before I go to work. And then that one day turns to 3 days, turns to 4 days, and you just keep going. So yeah, it definitely does add up.
Absolutely. She said, sounds like what I need, 15 pounds, but I eat really well. That's good, Genta.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
good. It definitely has to be a habit. It has to be something that you're intentional about. Nobody in the beginning, when you're transitioning from one eating style, it's like Sharmane said, it's a lifestyle. And when you think of it more of a lifestyle, there's going to, especially if you have developed habits of eating a certain way, it's going to take time to transition into being fully able to just eat just strictly healthy foods only. It takes I think it just takes just being dedicated, making a decision, making a decision to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to stick to it as. This is what I'm going to put in the effort to make sure. I think the more we're aware of the more that we're aware of being able to, the more that we're aware of doing some of the things that we're doing and being more conscious about what we're doing and how it's affecting our body, then I think it'll become a little bit more easier to accept, because before you do anything, before you make any changes in your life, you have to first make a decision to do it. If you don't make a decision to do it in your head, your body is only going to follow what you make a decision to do, right? Your body is not going to automatically just go into, your body's not going to automatically just go into just whatever you want me to do, I'm going to do it. It's going to take you stepping up, making a decision and saying, you know what, I want to live healthy. And sometimes we don't get to that point until we are sick, until there is something that's going on with our body. And you don't want to wait until you're forced. Like I was talking about before, you don't want to wait till your body's in survival mode, where it's, where you feel like, oh my gosh, now I'm gonna go ahead and just do this. Like my mom, it's funny because I talk about my mom. My mom does that when her A1C goes up high. She says, "Oh, I'm just gonna eat salad," And I'm like, "Mom, like salad it's great that you made a decision to eat salads, but your decision has to be more than I'm just gonna eat salads. You have to decide that I want to live first." And when you decide that I want to live, then you have to position yourself to be able to say, you know what, even though I want this, for me, when I get sick, that's it's like I don't want to wait. I've been sick. And let me tell you, it is not fun. I haven't had the 8 months experience that Sharmane has, but I did go through a period of time where I had COVID. And it was very draining on my body, but I'm really grateful that I had already started to practice putting some things into place already. So I was doing things, taking things naturally before I got sick. So I think when I did get COVID and I started applying some of the things that Sharmane and a few of my other, like my best friend, she was like really instrumental in bringing things to me. She brought a lot of natural things to me. Our community had sent me some things to kind of help me to recover. So it's good too to have a community of people around you to help you in making those decisions. Once you make a decision that I want to eat healthy, you have to surround yourself with people that is going to encourage that lifestyle, because it's going to be hard when you're used to eating what you want. And my mom is 66 years old. She's been eating what she wanted all her life. Mm-hmm. And so it takes her having a community of people around her to not just say, you shouldn't be eating that. That's why you're going to do this. It takes people getting around her and saying, you know what, instead of you, like Sharmane saying, just replacing it. You have a desire for something sweet. Well, let's give you an orange instead of you going and getting that pack of cookies. Let's just get that. Let's get an orange. But she, you can't even tell her sugar-free stuff, because she'll go ham on sugar-free stuff. She'll be like 4 or 5 packs of cookies. That's sugar-free. And I'm like, you have to be careful with the sugar-free stuff too, right?
Yes, definitely. Yes. That's why it's so important. We gotta push the waste out of our body. We gotta push the waste out of our body. And like you said, just create that culture where you're normalizing health, where it's not looked upon like, I'm not doing that, I can't do that, things like that. So when you push the waste out of the body, you create a better environment internally for sickness not to be able to thrive. The chemicals in the processed foods that affect the way we operate day to day. That affects our mental. So we have to get back to, again, normalizing health and realizing just because someone has, they don't have a waist and they got abs, that does not make a person healthy. Health is when your body can operate at its highest level possible. And also health is when you feel good all day, and you can recognize, when I say feel good all day, like you're operating at your best. And if you get tired, you can recognize and realize, okay, well, I need rest, and you're able to do these things. It's, you want to be able to take care of yourself. Health is when your body isn't breaking down. Every 30 days, our bodies can naturally slowly, break down. But every 30 days, like mine was, I was sick 8 months out of the year. And now, 30 years old, 40 years old, talking about, oh my gosh, I'm so old. You're not old. You're saying, oh, my knees, my back. That was me when I was like, the 5-10 years ago, oh my gosh, I'm so old. And I'm like, what? No, you're not old. You're just pushing your body to the limit, the environment, and I was, serving in the military. So, it was me telling myself these things, that affects your mental state and things like that. Because, telling yourself you're old, that's a mental state. Health is when you're in tune. You are in tune with your mind, your body, and your soul. So your spirit. So everything is aligned. You want everything to be just kind of aligned. Health is when you're not walking around saying, "Oh my gosh, I got this cough and I'm wheezing and I'm fatigued," and trying to normalize it within your own or someone else's reason. You know, so those things like that. And then I wanted to kind of point out, like I was talking about the externals or the physical, right? So I'm going to put you all onto something because the topic is wealth is health. I'm going to put you onto something, right? If you haven't realized it as of yet, when you work on your health, your body reflects that, right? Your body is going to naturally reflect that. So we live in a society where we glamorize looking at these people on social media. However, the trend to look, during different I want to say different decades have changed over time, right? So the way we dress and look and our body type now, mainly, as women at some point was not glamorized, right? So think about the style and the body types from the era of the 20s. And then all the way up 30s, 40s, 50s, 70s, 90s, and to the early 2000s. Early 2000, natural used to be a thing. Well, woman's natural body, that used to be a thing. People used to be like, oh man, look at music videos for the early 2000s, But when we think of health being wealth, how easy would it be to focus on living healthier, not just for yourself, but to make money?
Right.
That is crazy, right? Like, it's not crazy, but it's one of those things. It's like when we actually say it, we're just like, that would be super easy. And that's why fitness influencers make so much money, because they are literally living authentically. They're literally getting paid to bring you inside their world and like show you what they do on throughout a day-to-day basis. So now, once you get the actual business portion of that down pat with with the systems and the tools, you realize that you're going to be able to collapse time and still be able to work full-time or part-time job if you please. You will start to have options, or you could just continue living life focusing on what you want, because now you have the energy, you have the time, and you have the money to do so. So those things kind of like that, I'm definitely, I know for me personally, as time goes on, that's definitely something I'm definitely going to tap into as time goes, being, as far as the health and wellness. Because think about it, like making money by just being yourself, by working out, like, man, it's money out there to be made, and that's just from taking care of yourself.
And it's freedom. What good is it if you can't enjoy, God says he gives us all things richly to enjoy. We can't really fully enjoy the things that are around us and in the midst of us if we're not. I mean, just think about it. When you're sick, you don't feel good. Your mental clarity is off. You're not able to function as you need to. But when you give your body what it needs to function properly, there's a lot of clarity that comes in so many areas of your life and your business, where you're not struggling to stay awake, to be able to do certain things. Now, you will have moments where your body will alert you that it's time to shut down and rest. And that's a good thing, because our bodies we're fearfully and wonderfully made, that our bodies communicate to us that it's time to rest. We just have to learn to be in tune with our body and learn how to respond and be in tune, being able to know when it's time to rest, being able to know, because when you get older, and you realize you have to be responsible, like I said, and be a good steward over your body, and know that I may have in my 20s and 30s been able to eat and consume whatever I wanted, not really looking at the effect that it will have, because I'm still young and you're growing. But when you get in your 40s and up, your body changes, and your body quickly reflects how you take care of it. When I look at my body a couple of years ago, and I look at what my lifestyle was what it was like back then, it's totally different than it was now. And I had a really, I was, thick, I was like, I double chin. I was always trying to get rid of all this aesthetic stuff on the external, because I wanted to look a certain way externally, not realizing that there's some things I had to do and stick to. in order to be able to get the results that I want. And then once I got those results, I realized that, okay, you know what? Now that my body is in a healthier mode, now I'm thinking clearly. I know exactly what I need to do. I'm being a good steward over my time, my day. And that's what we want. You want to get your body in alignment with everything else that you're doing so that you can do and be your best. You can't be your best if you're exhausted and burnt out.
Right, exactly, exactly. And one of the things that you said that stood out to me was how we kind of normalize, and that's another thing, normalizing that, oh, you're young, you're just in your 20s, you eat what you want, look how you want, live your life. I honestly do not believe in that because of the simple fact that I take health so seriously. Like, I would not dare tell, my child, and that comes with that generational, breaking the cycles of generational illness, those beliefs. That's a belief. That's a belief that's not taken in consideration. Like, there's kids out here with diabetes, there's kids out here dying from certain illnesses and things like that, obesity. These things are real. So telling someone, oh, you're young, eat what you want, that's something that I don't believe in normalizing at all. I believe that you should tell children, about the importance, or young people or things like that, about the importance of health, so they can normalize that as they're growing up, knowing the importance. Yes, they need their vitamins and nutrients, but you don't have to get that. You're not getting vitamins and nutrients from processed food. You're really not. So, that's one of the biggest things, that you said that stood out. And literally you want to be able to operate at your optimized, health. So you can make that money, like you said. That's why some people say wealth is health, and others say, well, health is wealth. You can have wealth. You can have wealth and not have health, right? So you can have the money in the world, all the money in the world, but you're in the bed. You can have health. But, at the same time, if you have health, then you have a blueprint to wealth. That's something I like to say too. Like, it kind of goes back to what I was saying, how these fitness influencers and things like that, they're making money off of being who they are. Focus, you working on their, working on their lifestyle. And a lot of those people, they operating at a space that they are now. They weren't always there.
Right.
They weren't always there. So you have to, it's all about how you look at it. That's how I see it. It's all about how you look at it. Now, I know you have to definitely put in the work. You have to put in the work to be able to do all these things. That's why when we want to make it a lifestyle versus adding all this stress, to your mental. When you hear the words health journey, people get anxiety when they hear, just like diets. Nobody wants to diet. Nobody want it to be a process or a transformation. People don't want that.
Yeah.
But if you make it a part of your lifestyle, I found that making it a part of my lifestyle was a lot easier than constantly, oh my God, now I gotta go on a diet because I need to lose this weight because I gained these 10 pounds. Oh, now I gotta doing this repeated cycle every few weeks or every few months or something like that. You want to get out of that. But eating healthy, it's not a huge investment when you're living a healthier life either, because you have to make health your priority. And a lot of people, they're like, oh, well, it's expensive to eat healthy. You'll see the extra money if you actually prioritize where your money is going at this current time. Snacks and all the extra stuff. So, and again, it's like they're replacing. People have money for what they want to have money for.
That's true.
And
And it's our responsibility. It's not anybody else's responsibility to maintain our health. It's not anybody else's responsibility. It's ours. And I think that's the thing that sometimes we battle with when we are sick and we're in a stage where we feel like that we feel hopeless, because I think we start to sit back and realize that we have not taken our health. We have not been good stewards over our health. And so it's, I want you to talk to those people who haven't made the best choices, right? They haven't made the best choices maybe in their eating habits, and they really do desire to do the right thing. And they're just struggling with knowing what to do first. What would you say to somebody who's dealing with that?
First, I would definitely say, make a choice. Because when you make that choice, you're going to want to stick to it. And then you want to go ahead and take a self-assessment of where you are, self-awareness, because you have to get to a point where you know what you're struggling with, right? So say, oh well, I'm struggling with eating sweets. You have to make a choice. Go to the store, don't buy the sweets, right? And if you're struggling with that, then book a call with me, because you got a deeper issue internally that can help you push that waste out of your body so you're not craving, because sometimes
That's
we crave
facts.
things because of parasites.
That's true. Anything that you're addicted to that you can't let go of, that's an addiction. People don't realize you can have food addictions. You can be addicted to a certain habit of eating. And if you can't, and if you're struggling to change your lifestyle, most people, especially with this month being mental health awareness month, right? People don't I think health is an intricate part of that, because your mental health is affected if you're not eating the way you need to. If you're not taking care of your body, it does affect your mental health, right? Would you agree?
Exactly. Yes, because you can have things like gut issues, and like they said, the gut is like the second brain. So if all our organs are moving around in our gut, we have imbalanced gut health, then it does affect us mentally. That's what's another big thing. And then it causes inflammation in our body. And then when we stress out and have inflammation, stress out, that causes more inflammation in our body. So yes, mental health is the indirect correlation with just health overall. Mental health, physical health, eating habits, all these things are tied into one or the other. Because like I said, those processed foods, the chemicals go straight to your brain.
Absolutely. If you guys have any questions, we're coming to close to the end of our broadcast for Wellness Tuesdays. If you guys have any questions for Sharmane, our herbal naturopath, she is an expert in her industry, and she is really great at being able to help you transition from one lifestyle to another. So while we are here, I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to ask her any questions, and we'll be here to answer any of your questions. Again, you can also reach her if you don't have any present questions that come to mind. You can always reach Sharmane at www.healbynature.org. You guys need to book a call with her. She is really good. She doesn't just only talk about the physical aspects, but she really kind of comes together and joins the importance of your mind, and which is the foundation of how we make our decisions, right? We make our decisions based on how we are, our thought process. And so I really like that she kind of incorporates being able to get to the root of why you're even making the choices that you're making, which are a lot of the time stemmed and rooted in our environment and how we grew up. So I think when you get to the point to where you can transition, and she'll show you how to transition slowly into that lifestyle, especially if you spent so many years doing what you want to do, right? She's going to show you through her program. Make sure you guys take part of it. It's amazing. She's been a tremendous help to me, and me helping me to sustain my health. And I want you guys to to have a part in that, and to benefit from some of the programs that she has. So, Sharmane, did you have any final words while we're waiting for anybody else to comment? And did you have anything else you wanted to add before we end the broadcast?
You guys take your health seriously, definitely. You want to take your health seriously. So if you're consuming something toxic, you're probably living a toxic lifestyle. And even if it hasn't reflected as of yet, it will and can catch up to you one day. So we don't want to wait until that happens at all. You guys can reach out to me at Instagram at Sharmane_Q, or also you can reach out to me at www.healbynature.org. My journey is on both, also is on my Instagram, and also you can subscribe to my website to receive just different information about newsletters that I have coming up, events that I have coming up, monthly workshops, all these things. I give advice and tips on a regular basis when you subscribe to the website. So make sure you guys go ahead and do that, and definitely book a call if you are tired of dealing with illnesses and just living in a toxic environment. Let me help you. Definitely let me help you go from dealing to healing.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like we don't have any questions. Thank you guys so much for joining us here in the Wisdom Clinic. I also wanted to make a quick announcement. This is our 1 year anniversary for the Woman of Proverbs Sisterhood Check-in broadcast. So we will be posting all week long. We're going to have a marathon. This is a huge milestone for the Becoming a Woman of Proverbs brand. So we're going to have a huge marathon of all of our broadcasts that we've ever done with Sisterhood Check-in, along with Wellness Tuesdays, all combined. So if you see that, you're going to see programs listed pretty much every hour, pretty much around the clock, because we want to celebrate the different types of broadcasts and to show the growth and the things that have taken place over a year's process. So make sure you guys stay connected. If you have any questions, okay, we said Jensen said I missed the beginning. Oh, she already said that, I think. Says thank you, ladies. Great live. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you guys. And today is Tuesday. We will see you on Friday at Sisterhood Check-in. If you would like to be able to share your testimonial on the Sisterhood broadcast, make sure you send me a message, inbox me and let me know. And I'll be glad to have you on a Sisterhood Check-in where we can be able to share your victories with the women that are on that are in my audience and in your audience. So if you're interested and you want to share your testimony, make sure you send me an inbox and we'll see you on Friday. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night.
IBG Careers is looking for customer service representatives needed to service their customers from home. If you're interested, please apply at www.ibgcareers.com.
Let's work.
I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again. I pray the Lord that I.
Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work.